Commonwealth Sports Betting Live, 4/26/23. Yep, this one's special, folks. I'm just letting you know right now from the top. This one's special. Pie's so nervous he's pounding water over there like he's in the desert. Oh, he is in the desert. That's the man.
Yeah, see, exactly.
To my right, there's Ethan Pie Bets. He's been on fire, the human Zamboni, we like to call him. And the gentleman on the, I don't know if he's on the bottom. I assume he is. I don't know. We got to get that fixed because you should be up top. But is the star of tonight's show none other than the Factsman, the one and only Factsman. Thank you for being here.
I ask you guys a question, seriously, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but like you guys promoted this show, like the fucking Pope was coming in to do a show at some local church. I'm just like a fucking dude. I'm a dude like you guys. I'm better looking. I'm richer than you two, but I'm fucking just a guy. I'm just a guy here, trying to, I'm wishing you luck on your new site. I want to come by and give some insight, but I do have some disclaimers. I can't, first of all, I'm pissed off. I can't type. Why can't I type a comment? If that Tom D is my friend Tom D from New Jersey, then I'm really, really happy because it could be Tommy.
Tom D, I'm in. Yeah.
There you go.
If it is my friend Tommy, me and him started kindergarten together. That would have been 53 years ago. That makes us fucking old bricks. Yeah, I'm 58 now. Holy shit. Oh, so yeah, disclaimers. If there's any women or small children or people who get offended by the slightest thing, get the fuck off now. You do not belong listening to this because anything can come out of my mouth at any given time. Now, so, Mr. Pie, Ethan.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is Ethan. It's not that Tommy. Okay, that's fine, Tom. You're still a good guy. You're doing really, really well in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But stop with the motherfucking shots on goal stats. Stop with the checks. Stop with these crazy. I can't take the initials. Where's the initial? Where's the initials? War.
Which one?
War. I don't want to hear war. Okay, unless I'm in a fucking war. No, this guy's got a war of this. Fuck ROI. Risk on investment. Who the fuck cares of risk on investment? It's a whip. Unless you got a girl who's kinky and wearing some shit like some of that, black leather shit.
Yeah.
We'll talk about whips. But do not fucking mention whips in your videos if I'm watching. Fucking bullshit. And I'm not going to sit there and kiss you. Oh, guys, listen, these two guys are the greatest handicappers in the world. Come over here and watch their videos. Fuck them. They're good guys. They do well. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. But I'm not telling you to drop your jaws for these guys. I'm letting you know right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, no whip. Also, I don't ever want to hear bad beats. Oh, that was a bad beat. Wait a minute. Did you ever have a good beat? I'm not talking about jerking off, Ethan, because I know you're 24. You ain't got nothing else to do. My point is, I've never had a good beat. And the thing is, this is what bothers me. And on my previous shows, I used to do 3 shows a week on my old site, Sports Forum Picks. I'm sure some of you that have been a member of that show might know it. That might know that forum. We had it for 20 years. It was really, really good. And I used to have my Monday morning rants where shit would bother me, and I would talk about everything that bothered me. And obviously, everything bothers me. And then we'd have to whip it out Wednesday, where we'd go to the game. Then Factsman Friday, blah blah blah, the whole bit. But anyway, what I was talking about was the whole bad beat thing. People don't realize that they even out. We just remember the ones that we lose. Anybody listening, anybody watching this show, I spent a lot of years, and I met Ray in Vegas 30 years ago. I spent a lot of my time in Vegas. And if any of you guys ever go to a sports book, wherever state you're in, if you're in Vegas or wherever, you always hear people walking around like this. Holy shit, look at this ticket here. Look at this. I got a fucking 14 parlay here. I got Houston 1, California, or Angels 1, White Sox, fucking Twins. I missed it on a 2-out double in the 9th inning. They tell strangers. They don't even know them. They just want to go up to fucking strange people and tell them how they lost the game.
That's true.
In the history of my life, in the history of my fucking life, no one's ever come up to me in a sports book and said, "Hey, stranger, you're not going to believe this. I just hit a 14 parlay because with 2 outs and 2 strikes, fucking Mariano Rivera gave up a fucking 3-run home run to a guy who's never hit a home run before. It's never happened to me. It's never happened. No one ever tells me how unbelievable they won, but you always hear how people lose.
That's true.
So for everybody that loses, isn't somebody else winning? Right? A bad win for somebody is a lucky winner for, but I just hate that terminology. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah. It's complete fucking nonsense. Oh, again, people that are watching for the first time, you will get a game from me that will win. You will also get a tennis match from me that will win. Two things about me. My two favorite sports to bet on are tennis and baseball. Why? Facts. Don't you like NFL football? No. How about NBA basketball? It's crooked and it's silly. Yeah. I do play college basketball, but the two sports that I do best in is tennis and baseball. You know the number one reason? There's no clock. I can't get fucked on a last-second shot. I cannot get beat at the clock.
It's true.
I refuse to have a clock beat me. Now, again, you guys know, you saw my predictions in March Madness. You know what I did in March Madness. But I just cannot deal with the lose. Look, if I got a tennis match, you're gonna have to beat him fucking 2 sets or 3 sets or whatever the case may be to take my money. If I'm playing baseball, you better record that 27th fucking out. Otherwise, I still have a shot. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a lot different than, I watch the NBA. I don't watch the NBA. I haven't been an NBA bet in 30 years. But what I do find is I'm watching the NBA in the playoffs, and some teams down 7 points with 50 seconds to go. They're not fouling. Fucking guys jumping the ball. I'm like, what is this? If it was college and the guy was down 12, they'd be fouling.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different ballgame. It's completely different. It's completely different. Factsman, we absolutely crossed paths the same as if you were hanging Caesar. So yeah, I've been going to Caesars for 30 years. If you still go to Caesars, the morning crew there, Sal, Pops, all them guys, those guys are all my buddies. What do you call it? Chuck Esposito was sportsbook manager there. Another fun fact, I bet you didn't notice. Did you know I was the youngest sportsbook manager ever in Las Vegas?
At what age was it?
Well, here's the thing. When people say, well, how do you know? Well, I knew because I wasn't 21. I had my older brother's identification. Yeah. And I had my older brother's identification. Yeah. I started as a writer. And before you know it, domino effects started happening. People were coming and going. And I wound up working as the youngest one ever because I wasn't even legal. Like I was getting checks under my brother's name. But yeah, so I come from my dad, who was a bookmaker. A lot of people from the Run Pure site know that. So I've kind of been in this business for a long time. It's definitely it takes its toll. Look, I'm gray now. I can tell you 12 years ago I wasn't gray. Ray, if you wish you were gray.
I got it here.
You know what? You look like Mr. Freeze from Batman. Remember Mr. Freeze? Remember Mr. Freeze? Mr. Freeze is a good-looking guy. I think he's dead now, but that doesn't mean you're gonna die.
Probably is. I'm still going.
Yeah, I mean you're all right. You're all right. All right, so I probably know. I probably know a lot of these guys. On what, Joe? I'm getting off something. I don't know. Rated R boys, and I try to. I'm not going to try to be. What do you call it? Oh, speaking of which, you owe me $100 fucking dollars, Ethan.
Why?
You owe me fucking $100. Don't give me why. You know why. Listen to this. No reason to lie. My wife's Wes, my man. What are you doing? I was looking for you over at Run Pure because I only mentioned Commonwealth fucking Sports with the link maybe 900 times. Looking over there. Were you dropped on your head when you were a kid, Wes? Seriously. I like you. I know you're a California guy. You're probably somewhat of a bisexual, which I don't care. That's your thing. But I like you. But come on, stay off the fucking shrooms. Come on. We're brothers, me and you. We'll get on the fucking stick now. Bring something to the table.
So facts. Let me ask you now. Sure. So you had gotten into that. Talked about your start. Your dad was a bookie. We've both been on both sides of the counter as well. That's kind of our experience in the business. But how did you really get started? In the business of, which again, there's not many of them, but in the business of being a professional gambler, where if you have a tax return and you have to list your occupation, what do you list? professional gambler, I assume.
Professional gambler.
Right. How'd you go down that
it's
path?
really funny. I got a funny story with that as well. I guess parent teacher day at school. I have a 12-year-old daughter, 33-year-old son, and 12-year-old daughter. Great. Every 20 years, I'm fucking. All right, yeah, every 19, but give or take. But who's keeping score? How pathetic are these San Diego frauds? Fraudres. Yeah, they're pretty pathetic, Whiskey. But we're gonna get into them in a little bit. So yeah, what happened was my dad was a local book, but with a big outfit in New York. So he handled North Jersey, and I remember when I was, 14, 15, 16 years old. We had an office in Washington Heights, New York, where it's a misdemeanor to get caught bookmaking there, but New Jersey, you go to jail. So we'd go over to the bridge, and we would, we'd be in them days. You were open for certain periods of time because, you'd be there from I think we'd there from 11:30 till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Then we'd come back from 4 to 7, for the late ones because there wasn't that many games in them days. But yeah, so I thought Fact started when he lost his marbles. Okay, thank you, Oliver. Appreciate that. As a matter of fact, when I was answering the phone calls, this Oliver Henderson guy, he was standing right next to me taking fucking phone calls too. So he could. He's my buddy. Yeah. So what happened was I started doing the numbers, and we used to, in them days, what you would do is you'd write the bets down on a piece of paper, right? Three copies. You'd write down, the guy's count number. Your account number would be. It wasn't account numbers then. It was names like Fox. Your name would be Fox. You'd say Fox for Apple. So your Fox, Ray would be Fox, and Apple would be, you'd be like the collector, the pay collect guy. So he referred it to you. So basically, you're responsible for the money. So we got Fox's name. We do all his numbers. He writes everything down. We write all his pages, all his bets down. It would be on a 3-carbon sheet of paper. So as soon as we would write the bet, we wait till we get about 5 or 6 bets, and then we'd have a guy. We'd get him. We'd stick him. He'd take him, and he'd run him to a safe house. We'd keep one on file, and then we'd keep one on file in the office, and then we'd keep 2 in the office, but we'd always try to get one of them out in case we got pinched. The bets would be good. But in them days, if you got pinched, you got caught by the cops, no action for the day, no matter what. If you won or lost, if you bet $20,000 on a football game and we got popped that Sunday, you wouldn't have to pay because no bet stood. Do you remember that, Ray? In them days?
Yeah.
You remember them days?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So yeah. So I mean, it was I got to do it for my dad, and I never, as a kid, I never bet. I wasn't really a bettor. My dad used to tell me he'd have these weird analogies for me. And he'd say, guy would come in and he'd say, give me a 3-team parlay, Jacksonville, Buffalo, and Seattle. There was no Jacksonville then, but I'm saying it anyway. And money lines or whatever it was. And I'd say 300 to win 3,000. I'm like, Dad, this guy goes 3-0 today. He wins $3,000. And he's like, yeah. He said, but remember something. The side of the fence that we're on this end of the phone, we need 1 game. He needs 3.
Yeah.
So anybody that bets a parlay, automatically he's a fucking sucker. He's a fucking sucker because he needs to win 3 or 2. Another thing that bothers me a lot is when people ask me about hedging. Okay, hedging is fucking landscapers, and I don't look mad. Okay?
You do have a gardener. Though. You do have a gardener where you live.
I'm only busting balls, but no, I mean, somebody. What's the spare Ray doing on there? What's the spare Ray? I don't know what that means. Please be
Neither do I.
more specific, DW. So,
from Arthur or something.
what was I just saying? Because I'm 4 gummies deep now, so I forgot. What was I just saying about? About the parlays.
Parlay, yeah.
So yeah, he's like, look, my father told me gave me the rule book on exactly. He says, don't ever look for somebody who could win. It's going to be hard. Bet against people that lose. Bet against the dumbest motherfucker in the world instead of trying to find the smartest motherfucker in the world. Big difference. And if you think about it, you always hear people say, me. I could do this. My record here in this. Oh, last year I did this. And I get this a lot. I get somebody's like, I saw on Twitter, you're like 15-4 in the last 19 games. How do I sign up? I said, okay. So I'm 15-4. You see it. Now you want to pay for my picks. You're an idiot. You got to call me when I'm 4-15. Don't you believe in the law of average? The law of average, everything's going to even out. You come by 15-4. Now I go 7-7 the next 14 games. You want to hang me by my nuts. Get me when I'm, it's like you. You're doing really, real well in hockey. Really well. And I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. But
yeah, he is.
I made my money with you. I'll let things even out. I'll wait for the next round of the playoffs, and then we'll do it. The problem is, and this is the biggest problem with sports bettors today, there's too many options. There's too much action. There's too many, back in the day, like people ask me, they say, do you like the legalization of sports, now that you can bet, that you can bet anywhere? No, because what happens is, and my dad used to say this all the time, if they put a line on it, they got an edge. And these, I have these discussions a lot with my son, and my son, people will ask me, I'm pretty sure this question is going to come up. So I'll, like who's the best handicappers in the world that you know? And not because he's my son, because he's a motherfucker, and I abuse him to no end because I have to. I'm just doing my job, but he's really, really good. 4 10s, Joe, come on, stop that. 10 million.
4 10s.
I eat them motherfuckers like they're Skittles. Stop. and I chase them down with OxyContin. So stop. Just so I don't fucking
mix.
off the handle. Yeah, no, I mean 4. Are you kidding me? Stop. But no, he's a millennial asshole, but he knows what he's talking about. Like I'll give you a quick example. I'm on the phone with Ray the other day. I said, listen, you got a pen? And he says, yeah, why? I said, write this down. And he said, okay. I said, I want you to bet straight set winners in tennis in Savannah, Georgia. He's like, facts. I'm never going to question you. There's 26 fucking baseball games. There's basketball. There's soccer. You're giving me a match that's a tennis match to play in straight sets in a challenger match in Savannah, Georgia. And I said, but you won't lose the bet. And I told him, I said, I got a guy that's played 12, has won 12. His last 12 wins has won in straight sets. When he wins in straight sets.
You laid out the fact.
When he loses in straight sets. But then I compared the numbers. He beats bad players real easy, and decent players fucking annihilate him. So I'm telling Ray, I said, Ray, I'm telling you, I got something good. So I give him, what I just said. And so I didn't know he's betting it. I mean, he's actually betting it as I'm saying it. I said, now, here's the fucking good news. He said, I thought that was the good news. I said, no. That was just a reason for me to have the antenna come up, to look at it. The good news is the motherfucker we're betting against, the last time he won a match on clay, Manhattan was a prairie. Hitler was a fucking crossing guard. Okay? Moby Dick was a fucking sardine. He hasn't won in a year. And I said, and my guy has won 7 straight 2-setters on clay. Then we check. The other guy's a grass player. Did you sweat it, Ray?
Sweat
it.
It was over before you knew it.
It was fucking over.
Zippity doo dah.
Yeah, that's just one of the things that happen. It's not, like somebody will say to me, like a lot of times.
And I don't know the first thing about tennis. Don't know the first thing.
What's your record? And what do I always say? What's my record? My record is 0-0. Joe Oshinsky, my record is 0-0. You know why? Because you've never made a fucking penny betting on my games. You never lost a penny betting on my games. So whatever I tell you in the past could be anything. Yeah, I'm this. But and the truth be told, and I'm not going to give numbers because I'm not one of them like write down, oh, this is my week, like you guys, you're so into the transparency stuff. Oh, I want people to know why. And I'm not hiding anything. You guys watch my videos at Run Pure or when I do them on my own. And I've got, I think my How to Beat Baseball video, if you guys want to check that out, has a couple 100,000 hits. That was like the playbook on how to beat baseball. And I have a lot of videos. I got millions of fucking views from the videos that I did because I'm outrageous. But the thing is, there's so many easy questions. There's so many easy answers to this game, and it's limiting your exposure. And we talk about value. It's another thing. I don't want to hear people talking about value. Hey, there's value in this game. Why? Well, and let me ask you a question before I even get into that. Anybody listening? Taylor checking in. Hey, Taylor, what's going on? Anything going on at the fucking what is it? The Golden Corral tonight? I'm only busting, Taylor. Anybody from Virginia? I mean, like the fake Virginia, where like Virginia Tech is. Like I'm like the real Virginia outside of DC, UVA, Wahoo Wah. Like, I mean, like you guys take your parents for Mother's Day to fucking Golden Corral or Western Sizzlin or Bonanza.
Hey, Ethan, let me ask you a question. How long has Virginia Tech held the Commonwealth Cup? Longer than you've been alive at this point. It's ridiculous.
That's not
it's like 9,000 days. He knows. He's up there on the bank in Charlottesville with the wine and the cheese and the violins.
Yeah, there are some pretty stiff people at fucking UVA. I will say that. But my wife went there, and I got no choice but to support it. I got to support the home team. Especially if I want my clothes folded and I want dinner. Just being that. All right, so I was talking about again the gummies. Ethan, I need you here. What was I talking about?
What? Fuck.
You're not
fucking
even
gummies got to me too, man.
You're not even fucking listening. I mean, this
gummies got everybody.
This is what do you call it? This is embarrassing. I'm not even.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you another question, Fax?
Sure, you can ask me 7.
7.
I can ask you 7. Well, that's good. I've got 6, anyways. So we talk about the difference. We're what I think we're a half a decade. We're 5 or 6 years.
I knew what it was now.
Right, hold that up.
And we remember going. We remember going to the. I used to always know the valets at the Hotel DuPont, right? Because they would get the out of town newspapers when guys came in to stay, and you knew the guy at the train station. That's how information was king back in our start in this business. How do you talk about what do you think about betting today? PASPA, legalization. Everybody's got a finger in the pie, so to speak, and versus our day of bookies and information was king. If you knew a trainer, if you knew a guy that knew a guy that knew a guy, give me the breakdown.
I'll answer, and I'll tell you. And a lot of people aren't going to like this, but it's the truth. If you can't look at a baseball, if I look at a baseball game or a tennis match, if I don't know who's going to win, who should win, or what the line is, then I got to change my tax return on fucking dishwasher at Denny's, because you have to know that. And I busted your balls, Ethan, about the stats and stuff like that. But remember something. Yeah. People like my son will tell me, and he gets a point. He says there's too much information out there. A lot of people are a lot smarter now. No, people are a lot broker now, because guess what? The information that all of you people spit out, the only thing the bookies get it first. The only thing they know it. The only thing that's factored into the line. People think, well, people don't know this. People don't know that. Look, if you can't look at a game, here, you're going to get a game right now. Okay. I know this because I've done it my whole life. Bet against any pitcher that's flirting with a no-hitter perfect game into the 8th inning. Bet against him his next start. His ERA is going to probably be close to 7 or 7.5, 7.3 something. So Smiley, is that his name? Pitching for the Cubs tonight. He's going to give up runs. Yeah. But that's not it. I also do another thing. I like to bet against a team that gets shut out the next day. They're going to average 2.3 runs more off of a shutout. And this isn't over the last week or the last 14 days or month. This is 50 fucking years that I've seen it. So that I know. So to me, over 4 first 5 innings of the Cubs Padre game, money. Over 8 for the game. I don't bet in the first month of the season regular games very often. I don't think I bet many. But I'll go over 4. I'll go over 4 in the first 5 innings of the Cub game, and I would think the Padre bats will get started fast. I think Smiley will start out slow. I think I get the 4 runs in by the 3rd inning. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't bet over 8. I mean, if I like over 4 in the first 5, I would have to have 5. I'd be pretty much home. But I mean, that's the best bet on the board. I mean, and I didn't have to look at anything on a team or against a team after a shutout. Whiskey, it's not a matter of on or against them. It's about runs scored. So the number is when a team gets shut out, they might lose 9-7, but they're going to score runs. You know, they might win. You know, if they lose 2-0 or whatever, I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to lose either way. But I like to bet a team to score more runs after being shut out. And you got a really good hitting team with San Diego playing in a ballpark that is very hitter friendly. So, you know, and a lot of times like that line is 8, and a lot of people will say, hey, you know, it's 8, the wind must be blowing in. Ethan, you're from Chicago originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So years ago, we used to put our totals out when my dad was booking. Like, if we even put them out, it'd be out late because we used to wait to see.
Yeah.
We used to sit there and say, like, you'd hear the wind is blowing out of Wrigley. Anybody that lives in Chicago, if you told me at 8:00 this morning the wind is blowing out of Wrigley, it's blowing out to right or whatever the case is, that's great. But Chicago's one of the few cities that when you see that, they used to put numbers of 12 and 13 on them games. But somehow during the afternoon, something happens, and then it's not blowing out anymore. It's kind of blowing side to side. By the time first pitch comes, it's blowing in, and you got over 13, and you're holding your cock.
Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. I mean, like I remember you got John Lester when he pitched for the Cubs. Okay, you know, wind's blowing out. Totals 12, 11.5, whatever the case is. Lester was good with the Cubs. The thing what people never understood was Lester's 80% of his outs were ground balls. So them balls that were going to get caught in the jet stream that people thought would, hey, fly balls that are, you know, warning track power are going to be home runs. Well, that's great, but he doesn't throw fly ball outs. Now, if Max Scherzer, who's a way better pitcher than John Lester is, if he's pitching in that game, he throws a lot of fly ball outs. He throws a lot of strikeouts, but the ball leaves the park a lot when he throws it. That's something I'd consider. So I think that if you have to be able to look at it and say, this is what I'm going to do. But I do different forms of research. Not what I want to find out what you don't know. I want to find out what the books don't know. And it's not a lot, which basically means I don't have a lot of games. So I'm not sitting here just, who's playing a baseball tonight? Is there a late game? Is there an early game? I don't give a fuck. To me, I'd rather not play. But if something is good, I do this to make money, and I do this to try to find an edge. People have asked me for years. My guys will ask me, you know, could you make me money? And I said, well, I can save you money because I can't save you from you. You got to know that you can't bet $100 on a game, and then the next game bet $300, and you're a 66% handicapper, and your credit cards are maxed. You're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
And again, it's like it's the same thing. You hear these things. Well, hey guys, you know, call my 900 number, call my 800 number, and I got 2 3-star games. I got a 5-star game, and I got a 10-star game. All 3 of them absolutely free with 1 phone call. Okay. So Mr. Jerkoff that's making this announcement, if you got a 10-star game, okay, and first of all, I thought the stars were in Hollywood, not in the steam was in the sauna, and the locks were in Home Depot. That's just
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Anyway,
or Ace.
Yeah, or Ace. But I said you could be 67% and be broke
and lose.
Yeah. And I said, doesn't matter. So he said, yeah, but I'm telling the 3-star is a fucking lean. You know, I like it a little. Well, if you like it a little, you won't fucking bet it. If you see a girl that's like pretty, but she's got a big fat fucking ass and she's got acne, you don't have to fuck her. You can wait for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know I have crazy analogies, okay? And I'm sorry. And again, a few people, this is the way I talk. I'm sorry. But my point is, I want to fuck the 10. I mean, I'll fuck 2 5s, but I mean, I want the best. So I never got like, well, yeah, you can put a little bit on this. Well, no, I'm not putting a. Give me your best bet and tell me why you like it. And I don't need the wars and the fucking letters. Just tell me, you know
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
this team, again, heat, humidity. When it's heat and humid, I look at places like Cincinnati. If that lineup is sitting in a certain way, fly ball pitchers that give up long balls, and the ball's traveling out to left field, that ball's going to fly to left field at that ballpark. Ball's going to fly out of right field in Philadelphia. If that left-handed lineup is stacked or playing against a left-handed lineup, two pitchers that are right-handed, and all the stars align. It's hard to align fucking stars to work out where you can even find a bet. But I see people with 10, 15 bets a day. How do you do it? Listen, if you guys are betting 15 bets a day, I'll take your action. I mean, I know it's illegal, but fuck, not like I never been in jail before. I mean, 3 square meals, sex every day, and I fucking sleep.
That was a good one. I like that one.
I'm quick sometimes. Not that way.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next question?
Facts. Let's do a couple rapid fire.
Okay.
Just rapid fire. Guy comes to you. I'm betting every side and total in college basketball, and I'm going to bet every side and total in Major League Baseball in every game played. I make money doing it. Are you gonna? I mean, it's a silly question, but are you gonna back him or book him?
I'm gonna fly him to my house. I'm gonna rent out the fucking house next to me to make sure he's in eyesight. And I never want to leave him. I will protect him. Can't win.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next one. If you had to give an estimate on the number of professional gamblers, meaning like I call myself semi-pro, I probably make more gambling, but yeah, I have to have health benefits and things like that. You got to have things that are, when
don't
you
get fucking sick.
There you
Don't need help, man.
I'm good with that. I don't miss days.
Who's John Doe? Go to Merchant. What's your name? John Doe. Fix me.
But how many people would you estimate in the United States of America, their sole source of income would be listed as, I'd say gambling, but certainly sports gambling or gambling of any kind?
It's been said it's 3%, but it's less than that. It's probably closer to 2. It's probably closer to 2. But they say it's 3%. Now, again, think about this, and a lot of people never realize this. So let's use a number of $1,000. It's a big bet. You make 60 bets in the course of a year. You bet 100 bets in the course of the year. You win 60. That's 60%. You're 60 and 40. You're a fucking god. You win $60,000, right? You lose $44,000. You net out $16,000, and you're putting like what? How much money in play? You're putting $100,000 in play.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I got to win 60% of my games, betting $1,000 a piece, to make $16,000 a year? I could fucking steal $16,000 a year. I can find $16,000 a year in my fucking lint thing on my dryer, or under my fucking cushion on my couch. Is it worth that kind of pain and suffering and bullshit? Now, if you're betting $15,000 a game or $20,000 a game, you're a professional bettor. But a guy that's not betting that, and again, a professional bettor is someone that can make enough money to pay for his benefits, or marry somebody with one. Thank you, honey. But I think in the end, that's no money. That's fucking. I mean, that's like a Social Security check. I mean, $16,000 a year. That's not any money. Right. So all right, well, I'll double it. I'll bet $2,000. It's $32,000 a year. That's not minimum wage. Double that, $64,000 a year. You're fucking Section 8 if you're making $64,000 a year. So my point is, Ray, you're going to ask me this question. Out of all the people you know, who are the best handicappers that you know? I think we discussed this. I gave props to my son because I think he's good. You know who the best handicappers in the world are? You don't know them.
You've never heard of them.
They don't want to be known.
You never heard of them.
I know them. I mean, I know them because they'll say, Joe, look, I need a favor. I need 20,000 moved on, a certain game. I'm getting max. Can you do me a favor? So you beard for the guy. But then there's gonna come a time he might have to do it for me. But these guys aren't doing They're not on Twitter. They're not on Facebook. They are ghosts. They are in the wind. You don't even know who they are. And you could walk by them. And again, like, you know, I always hear this a lot. And like me being like a Jersey, New York guy, you say, oh, the fucking biggest bettors in the world are, you know, from New York. I mean, all the fucking guys bet any amount of money. They're crazy. Go to Jackson, Mississippi. Go to fucking Knoxville, Tennessee.
Taylor's people.
Book there. Them motherfuckers bet anything. I'm telling you, I know them. I know I mean, I know Taylor's uncle. Okay. And you know, you could ask her, Ray. I remember we had a guy that wanted to bet a lot of money on a game, and he's like, you know anybody that take this kind of money? I know Bookmaker will take it. But he was one of them old school guys, didn't want to go offshore, and picks up the phone. I said, I know a guy, you know, in Virginia, you know my whole life. The guy says, I want to bet $50,000. He said it was $50 or $60,000. So I want to bet $50,000 or $60,000 on a college basketball game. I mean, on a college football game. Factsman referred me, said, you know, he'll vouch for me. And he's like, so what do you think? And he says, pick a side. This guy's what? Pick a fucking side. All right. What do you want? What game? I'll give it a line. Like it was nothing. It wasn't like, holy shit. So that means to me that's not like an unusual thing for someone to take that kind of money. So he's taking that shit all day long. I mean, I think my dad, and again, you're talking about like in the 80s. I mean, I think we capped people at like $2,000 or $1,500 because, you know, my dad used to say to me, keep everybody at bay. You don't want anybody to turn a toothpick into a baseball bat. When that happens, that's fucking bad. So like our biggest thing is like, and if people that are betting this, I always hear people like, well, let me bet Verlander. Let me bet Scherzer. Let me bet Kershaw. If I bet all three of them, instead of laying minus 300, I can actually get plus 120 or whatever it is. And I got the three. One of them will fucking lose. And here's the thing. One of them are going to lose. You do that, you will be broke like a motherfucker. I can promise you. So Bookmaker, who I've worked with for 30 years. Okay. I mean, I train their sales staff. I mean, I've been with the best book in the world. Okay. And I remember, you know, I said, who do you fear the most? You know, like, it's like, you know, you always hear that these sharp guys, you know, whoever claims to be sharp we make it up for the people who think they are. It evens out. But he says, I would rather have somebody bet me $100,000 on three big favorites. And if I lose, I'll pay out $100,000. I don't care. But if somebody bets me $20,000 on three big dogs in baseball and hits them and they could win.
Boom.
This guy might be only worth $20,000. That's the only amount of money I could ever get from this guy. His last $20,000. But he gets on a run. He could beat me for $1 million. Now the guy laying $100,000 on three chalks, he's got more where that came from. He doesn't, you know, he's going to be able to do that. So yeah, I mean, betting favorites, and I know it seems like easy in the way you word it. Oh, just, you know, I got three best pitchers pitching, you know, or I'll take three money line games. Who's the fucking idiot that bet Purdue against Fairleigh Dickinson? So, well, it's like a
Fezzik.
99. Fezzik did that?
Steve Fezzik,
What a fucking jerk off. I mean, seriously, you know, it's the old expression. Another thing I got from my dad. We'd go to Vegas every now and then, you know, he'd come by and like, you know, if this is, you know, when he retired and he'd come out and see me when I was out in Vegas, and I still had a lot to learn. And I remember Ron Guidry, was it Ron Guidry? One of them, was it Guidry the pitcher for the Yankees? I think it was Guidry, but anyway, he was like a 2.5 to 1 favorite.
Yeah, Guidry.
3 to 1 favorite. Maybe it was a little, or somebody after that. I forgot. But I remember I said, Dad, there's no way the Yankees are losing to this team. It's the worst team in baseball. You got their best pitcher pitching. And he's like, I said, it's like picking up a fucking sure 100. I said, I put up 300 to win 100. It's like stealing. And he said to me, he says, if you got 3.
He wants that all day.
If you got 3, why do you need 1? I mean, it's one thing if you have 1 and you need 3, then you bet the fucking dog. But you already got 3. You don't need 1. You don't need 1. it never clicked, but it makes sense, right? I mean, why would you do it? You know, for what reason? All right, Ethan, you got a question?
Yeah, I do. So, since I'm the youngest one, I just turned
No
24.
way.
Like, you haven't noticed? I didn't notice. You don't look a day past. Let me say something. 29.
Listen,
there you go.
we both have kids older than you, Ethan. So.
I know.
We both have kids older than you.
I got crabs older than him.
Oh,
right?
That's for sure. But at 24, you were doing this. What was what was the landscape like when you were 24, basically?
It was different. I'll put it this way: there was no ESPN, the Ocho. There was no.
Yeah.
Here's how it worked. At every city, I'll use New York as an example. At 1 o'clock, you'd get the Jet game on TV. At 4 o'clock, you'd get the Giants, or they'd switch back and forth. There wasn't no Sunday night football. Then Monday night. But college football, you'd get one local game depending where you are. Like, I guess where me and Ray are, we would either get a Virginia Tech or a West Virginia game or something like that. Yeah. Or a 10. We'd get one local game at 12. We'd get a national game, which would maybe be like an Ohio State, Michigan at 3:30. And you wanted a night game, you had to wait for Thanksgiving weekend for, Texas A&M. They weren't available. Yeah. There wasn't that. So people didn't. Again, now people bet more because they have access to watch games. There was a number, I think 93% of the people that are watching a football game have some form of a wager on it. 93%. That could be a bet, that could be an office pool, that can be a parlay card, that can be. So, and then if you look at the numbers, and pretty much everything is now with either streaming or on TV. If you look at the games that are not on TV, it's less. I mean, like, people want to watch their money. I get it. I personally, I don't watch the games. I have a system in the back where I tape, and I have someone come in, and I can watch. They'll tape every baseball game that's being played today for me. I can watch a baseball game in between 7 and 9 minutes. I can watch a football game, a college football game, in about 18 minutes. I can watch a college basketball game, maybe about 15 to 17 minutes. Cut out the commercials, the fouls, the timeouts, the get in the huddle. I just want to know what's out. To me, that's the easiest thing to do. So I do that, but I have no way. We had to wait till 8 o'clock for HBO to come on. Yeah, exactly. That was the big thing. I don't think HBO was out then, but yeah. I mean, so it was a different ball game. People went to sleep winning a game, saying, "Damn, I enjoyed the win." And when I was younger, I enjoyed a win. My son always tells me, he says, you're just immune to this shit. Whether you win or you lose, doesn't matter. Like, I'll go to Vegas and go to the dice table or play high stakes poker, and hundreds of thousands of dollars will change hands. Okay. And it's not like I'm making it up. I mean, you guys can see the videos that when I was with my son, I mean, I fucking play. I mean, I'm a player. The thing is, when you won a game, you'd go to sleep, or you'd like, I won the game. Maybe get up in the morning, maybe buy yourself something. Now you got people betting the fucking noon games Eastern time, and then waiting for the Hawaii game and college football. But I mean, I should talk. I start my work at 1:30 in the morning because I crush Korean basketball, and you can laugh. I mean, look, it's not that I like it. I don't. I was doing the I was telling the story that I got interrupted on, but I interrupted myself. So we had my daughter was at school on the, like, what do your parents do for a living? She's like, oh, my mom is an accountant, blah, blah, blah. And, what does your dad do? She says, my dad's a professional gambler. Said, what do you mean? He says, well, he's a professional poker player and bets on sports. So that's what he does. And so the teacher says, wow, that sounds like a really fun job. And my daughter says, no, my dad hates it. And the teacher said, really? She said he hates his job. I mean, he gets to watch sport. He's like, gets to watch sports and play cards and make money doing it, and he hates it. And she said, yeah. She said, well, let me ask you a question. Why does he do it? She said, because he's good at it. And that's what I explained to my daughter. Like, she's like, Dad, I have a question for you. Like, why do you? Yeah. You always fucking cursing at people, and it's not that. Like, if you don't like your job, why do you do it? I said, it's really the only thing I know. It's the only thing I'm good at. I can't change a tire. I mean, I guess I can, but I mean, I'd rather have somebody do it for me. But I've done this so long, I don't know anything else. So I figure if I'm going to invest my money and my time, I invested pretty much the last 40 years of my life doing this, I might as well be fucking good at it, or at least try. And again, too, people don't understand this, and it's a stone fact. Somebody asks me, they say, what do you think our record will be? Well, fuck, my middle name ain't Nostradamus. I don't know. My job has always been this, and this is the way I always felt. If somebody's on my program for games, I'll say to them a couple things. If you're under 21, obviously no. If you're in college, no. If you're a senior citizen, no. If you have money issues, no. Because a lot of people come up and say, look, I need to put my hands on some money. And I'm thinking you might be the best guy for the job. Well, no, I'm not the best guy for the job, because I had 10 out of 12 winning months. You might catch me on 2 weeks that I'm really, really bad. I don't want that fucking responsibility. Yeah. But I think what it comes down to is I don't care. I don't like it. I don't, because I'm tired of it, but I don't know what else to do. So I can spot things a lot of people can't, and I do okay with it. But I enjoy. Like, somebody's like, "Hey, what kind of week did you have?" First thing I'll say is, my daughter scored 12 points in her basketball game, where she did really, really well in volleyball. I get more of a rush.
That's a good week
for that.
Yeah, that is. It is.
And then like you squeezing out an empty net goal, with 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah.
But again, like I say, the old people will say, "Oh, you got lucky." Well, no, I didn't get lucky. Some other motherfucker got unlucky. That's the way it is, right? I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, that's
true.
How it goes.
But
I mean,
it's true.
But yeah, I mean, it's different. It's different in the sense that I think once DFS came in, it gave a whole new different platform of gambling. So you add that, and I respect the shit out of them guys that do it. I couldn't do it because I just never could. I can't. If I got $20,000 on a fucking baseball game, but in daily fantasy I got the opposing hitter, like I paid a lot of money for him, I don't want this guy to get a hit or a home run. Like, I'm rooting against myself. I mean, like, I don't know what to root for. I don't, and to me, it's definitely a conflict of interest. The guys that do it are very, very talented. I just think this game is an easier thing for me, or I'm just too old fashioned to want to learn something else. But yeah, I mean, I think people today, somebody like you have a job. I think what you need to do, or most people need to do, keep your bets exactly the same. When you make money, you just, like, say you're betting $200 a game. It doesn't matter. The only difference between 200 a game and $200,000 a game are just fucking zeros. We're all broke at our own level. We're all rich at our own level. So it doesn't really matter.
That's right.
So
good call there.
What I would do is, what I would do if I was any of you guys that are watching, if you have a win, nice little run, something that you want. I mean, it could be a hooker, it could be a motorcycle, it could be a new bedroom set. I don't know. But buy something. Have something to show for it. Because what happens is, a year from today, I want to do this video with you. And I say, Ethan, let me ask you a question. How you been doing? And he's like, well, I mean, to be honest with you, I had, $4,000 in my bookmaker account. I'm only down to $600 now. Oh, so let me ask you a question. Over the last year, what have you done? I took a trip to Rome. I bought a car. If you're just going to keep money in places just to keep betting it, have something to show for it. Because the average person, if you ask that average person, look, I'm going to put you in action all year long. You're going to be in action all year long. You're going to have a bet every day. But at the end of the year, you're not going to win any money. You're not going to lose any money. That guy would want to blow me through the fucking TV or through the computer. Because he wants action. And that, look, to go to, me and my son went bowling. I took my daughter and we all went bowling. It was $22 a game to bowl. $22 a game to bowl. $8 for fucking shoes. I could have got a hooker with teeth for fucking $22.
I thought the no teeth ones cost more. Honestly,
no, I heard from a friend that but that's just me, Zach, I'm doing good. How are you, buddy? I'm glad that you're here. Listen, all you guys that are here, if it's for the first time or whatever, tell your friends about it. These two guys do a really good job. I'm not going to be able to do these videos all the time, but I will come in and help from now and then, and just trying to just bust balls. But I'm not going to sit here and I didn't come here to endorse these two pricks because I don't do that for anybody. I don't do it for my son. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. But they do. They do a good job, and for people that do a good job, they're a good listen. Yeah, I mean, Ethan will fucking look through his notebook and whatever.
Yeah.
Ray videos are fucking grainy. I get that, but it's a good. No one's going to sit here and give you a bunch of bullshit here. They're going to tell you where it's at. They're not going to hide behind losses. They're not, and stop talking about when you guys lose. I mean, Ethan. This is Ethan. I'm gonna do my impression of Ethan. Okay, guys, so the Islanders. I mean, I'm gonna go over 2.5 goals because I think they can get 2.5 goals. If they don't, we'll lose. No fucking way. There's a square for 60 minutes. How the fuck are you saying that if they don't score 2.5 goals, you lose? Don't ever fucking say that when you're doing a video.
That's true.
Let me ask you a question. The hottest girl in fucking Arizona comes up to you, right, and says, "Listen, you know what? You do like girls, right? I mean, because I don't know about this.
No, yeah.
If you like the pole, not the hole, I'm cool. We're cool." But so the hottest girl in Arizona comes up to you and says, "Ethan, I got this thing about guys that like to bet on sports and have fucking light beer banners in their fucking house. But, my question to you is, I haven't fucked in 2 weeks, and you mind come to my house and maybe fucking get the sheets dirty?" Now the last thing you're gonna tell, first thing you're gonna do is yes, you don't talk, you don't oversell it, you just fucking go. The last thing you say is, on your way there, I just want to warn you so there's no surprises. I got a 2-inch dick. So you're not going to be happy. Even if it's me. I'm not saying you do. Not that I care. That shit, they got to find it at the last second. Because it's already closed. Okay? You're home. Don't bring it up. Don't bring up the fucking losses and the bad beats. Just like you don't bring up your 2-inch dick when you're talking to a girl who's a 10.
For sure.
I'm not accusing you of having a 2-inch dick. And I don't want to see it. That's boys, girls, and small animals. I like that,
Oh, man.
Backwater missed the play.
Backwater. Well, we're going to go first half over 4 in the Cub game today. If you want to play over 8, you can, but I didn't play over 8 in the game. I played over 4 the first 5 in the Cub game. Be starting, I guess, pretty soon, so you'll be all right. So what? You know what? Let me give you guys a tennis match for if any of you guys are up at 1 o'clock in the morning, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a player by the name of Christopher Eubanks. He's minus 130. He's an American. I think the match starts at 1:20 a.m. So Chris is 7-1 his last 8 matches, and I probably watched most of them. His only loss out of them 8 matches was arguably against the best player in tennis, in Medvedev. So he's playing really good, and if his only loss is to possibly the best player in Medvedev, and he's playing a better class of people. He's playing Diallo, who hasn't beaten a good player ranked under 169 in 6 months. He's an okay guy, but he just doesn't. He's one of them players that you play somebody who's got a little bit of a serve, somebody's a little bit of a game. He's going to struggle. He's been struggling. Eubanks hasn't been struggling. I like the way he's playing. So at minus 130, bookmakers at 130. I think at Caesars has it at maybe 135. Christopher Eubanks minus 130. That will be in. I think it's in South Korea. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But that's a really good tennis bet if you want. And again, I do pretty well in tennis. So I wouldn't tell you to do it if it wasn't a good bet. So yeah, that's another one. All right. What else? We got to have one more.
Facts. Let me ask you before, because we're going to talk about the banners that are now on our website right after this. But for now, the last one I really have is, I don't know if you're like me, but
definitely not
my
like
first
you.
trip to Saratoga or to Vegas. My first trip to like so when you go to Saratoga, like if you grow up in Pimlico and Delaware Park and Parks and Monmouth, you know you're like a shady character, right? If you're seen with a daily racing form, you're a scumbag kind of lurky character. You go to Saratoga, you sit down to eat at a restaurant, they put the racing form down for you. When you come over the hill, coming out of what the hell's the damn town above Vegas? Henderson. You come out of Boulder City. You come out of Boulder City and see the lights of Vegas. I'm just asking, have you ever had the epiphany, religious, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, experience, whether it was Saratoga, Del Mar, Vegas, Atlantic City? What was your, holy shit, this is cool?
I'm not a horse guy, although I've done very, very well in Triple Crown races over the years. So no, I think there was a lot of poker moments where I used to. Well, I know you're gonna find this hard to believe, but I always found my edge in playing Hold'em was I'm very card conscious, and I'm not gonna say like I'm like this great reader. I pick up. It's not that. I'm a pretty good card player. I think. I mean that goes for like gin rummy, pinochle, hearts. I mean I've always been a good card player. I think. I think that the one there was a lot of poker. There was a lot of poker moments in there, but I'll give you a holy shit moment. Okay, this is a bad one. So, I'm really good friends with Jimmy Vaccaro. I don't know if anybody knows Jimmy. Well, Jimmy worked at the bar. We closed for years, then went over to Mirage.
Pittsburgh kid.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Him and Sonny, the sneaker king.
Yeah, but you look at Jimmy walking around Vegas, you think he's homeless. He's fucking worth millions of dollars. But anyway,
far from it.
Yeah. So anyway, back in the day, he's at the Mirage. And Jorge Paez is a boxer. He's fighting Tony the Tiger Lopez in Sacramento. Jorge Paez was the first guy that came in with the mohawk. Used to dance around the ring. I don't know if you remember, but back in this is like during the Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran days. But he was a undefeated, really, really good fighter. And he's fighting this guy named Tony the Tiger Lopez. They were both Mexican, but Tony the Tiger was from Sacramento. And I think the line of the fight was like 120 Paez. I'm like, it can't be. I says, it can't be. So they had limits because in then days, boxing was, they wouldn't let 500, maybe 1,000 tops. So I'm going to go see Jimmy at Mirage, and I'm going to go make a big fucking bet. So Walter says, Jimmy, I need a favor. And he's like, I know the fucking favor. 2,500 tops. That's it. And he's like, and fucking, you better be here betting fucking baseball and football for the rest of the week. And I said, thanks, man. I really, really appreciate it. He's like, no problem. So Jimmy tells the ticket writer, he says, give him Lopez for 2,500, and that's it. I said, what'd you say? He says, I'll give you 2,500 on Lopez. I said, I don't want Lopez. He said, what'd you say? I said, I don't want Lopez. I want Paez. Paez is the fucking champ. He's like, man, I had you figured out wrong. I thought you were a fucking sharp kid. I thought you were. He's like, you want to bet Jorge Paez? I said, yeah. So I'll take anything you want. And now I'm confused. And I'm like, now Jimmy's trying to fuck me. He's trying to get me off the fight to save 2,500. I don't know what I'm thinking. I said, I want Paez for 2,500. I bet Paez for 2,500. He walks behind the counter, he puts his arm around me, and he says to me, he says, he could beat him every round. He could punch him until his fucking eyes come out of his head. Paez will never get a decision at Arco Arena. Is that what it was? Arco Arena in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. And I said, what do you mean? He says, they're never going to give him. There'll be a fucking riot. The Mexicans hate Paez. The fucking city of Sacramento love Lopez. They're never going to give this kid a decision. As long as this guy doesn't get knocked out, he's not going to win the fucking fight. And I'm like, whatever. I go to the Imperial Palace. meeting some friends there. I watched the fight. Who won the first round? Paez. Second, Paez. 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 Fight. I said, anybody, I know I'm not crazy, but did this motherfucker win any rounds? And he's like, no. I said, fucking Jimmy Vaccaro says that they're never going to give this guy a decision. I said, somebody's got a better shot of going to a bank with a fucking ski mask on to get away with this one. Ladies and gentlemen, ding, 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 ding. We go to the scorecards. Actually, it was yesterday. Judge Harold Letterman scores the fight 117-116. Paez. Judge so-and-so scores the fight 117-116. Lopez. And now I get the pit in my stomach. Okay?
Oh,
I
my
get the
God.
pit in my stomach. Because now I know I'm fucked. And then I hear Judge so-and-so. Then they do the pause. You know the pause that sticks it right in your fucking ass instead of it's like when you gotta get a needle and they say just relax. It's only gonna hurt for a minute. Just give me the fucking needle.
The
Don't scare me.
pause.
Just
I
give me the
love
fucking
it.
needle.
Yeah.
Right? And then I hear Judge so-and-so. And new. And I'm like, new motherfucker, you should be cancer the fucking eyeballs. I went nuts. I went fucking crazy. It was the first and last time I ever got mad losing a bet. And I was only fucking 20-something, maybe, I don't even think I was 20-something in them days. But, yeah, that's what you want to talk about one that sticks out? Yeah, that would be the one.
But Jimmy didn't lie to you, did he?
He didn't lie to
Jimmy
me, no.
was basically
He wanted me to print he was going to print the Lopez ticket for me. He was going to print the Lopez ticket for me because that's what he thought I was going to do.
Wow.
But you see, like Ethan, back in the days, like in the 80s in Vegas, right? Like you saw the movie Casino, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was based
a while ago though.
That was based on the Stardust. I worked at the Stardust in them days.
Yeah.
So all that shit was pretty much close to being on the money. The funny part about it was like, I don't want to mention the sports because the guy still owns it, and I'll be in fucking trouble. That I don't want to get anybody in trouble that they had an underage guy. But anyway, like I would be on the counter and when I was writing tickets, and they'd say, "Joe, I need you to go take a walk for about 3 hours." And I said, "What do I got to do?" I'm at Barbary Coast. I want you to go next door, go to Harrah's, go to Flamingo. I want you to walk around the sports book, and all I want you to say is, "Holy shit. I can't believe the old man just bet fucking $30,000 on Michigan against Purdue." That's all I want you to say. And I'm like, why? Just fucking say it. So I'd go there, and then I go to the next place. I go to Harrah's. Hey guys, like anybody? Yeah, did you hear the old man bet fucking $30,000 on Michigan? Go across the street to the Frontier. Go back across the street to Riviera, Desert Inn, hit them all. Go downtown, saying the same exact fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I come back and I said, I have a question for you. I said, what did I do and why did I do it? He said, because, and who's the old man? I don't know. Just
doesn't matter.
Old man sounds good.
Yeah.
So when you say old man, they think like, maybe somebody. So it was all bullshit. But what happened was they were getting hit with a lot of money on Purdue. So they wanted to start rumors. Rumors create bets. And the $30,000 that the alleged old man bet became $50,000 and $60,000. And the story just ballooned.
Yeah.
And they got what they wanted. They got their Michigan money, and they got their Purdue cover. It was crazy. But
that's how it was back then. That's how people don't get it. Like how
it was, Joe.
Vegas was.
Resident was, it was across the street from right across from. It was across the street from
Frontier. Yeah, Frontier.
Yeah. That's
used
all.
to watch.
Then there was El Rancho. I worked at El Rancho for a little bit. I got my first job dealing craps at old timers might remember this. Little Caesars, dealing 25-cent craps. When I left that
Little
place,
Caesars.
When I left that place, somebody says, "Let me tell you something. Anybody that can deal 25-cent craps at Little Caesars or the El Cortez will be the best fucking dice dealer in the fucking world." Today, I can go to a dice table and tell you what other people, what other people would fucking get paid at the table. Joe, they were on strike. I think I remember at least 8-9 years straight. The Frontier, constantly on strike. Yeah, I don't know how they ever. That was some kind of fucking union. No one ever worked for it. But yeah, that was a pretty funny one that I can remember on that one. You see, I wasn't like the uncensored. I've been pretty good, right?
Yeah,
If
No,
you've been
yeah.
solid. Gummies help.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I think people came on and we're gonna get the impression. How many people are watching the video? Do we know?
It's been between 18 and 25 live the whole time.
Oh, we got to get some. Anybody that's watching, you know, you might want to tell a fucking friend or two. I'm pretty sure we'll get some on
Yeah.
back end because of the confusion with Run Pure on. That's where I usually do the videos. But you know what? I will. I'll probably do a video or two. I have a YouTube channel on my own. I know. I just don't use it. But I might do one to have you guys on.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
And have you guys promote. Have you
Oh
guys
yeah.
promote your site. But I mean,
so we're
like,
over an
whatever
hour, Facts, and you know how brutal the owner of this business is, and how bad I'm going to get fined for this being over an hour. But I did want to wrap up with you just kind of, we've got a new addition to our webpage, commonwealthsports.com. You're going to see a banner there with Bookmaker, and I think there's probably no one that's been affiliated with them longer that could better speak on what that is, what it does, what being with us can do for you through Bookmaker. So
the only thing I can tell you, the only thing I tell people that are playing locally, you're going to get different odds. You're going to get, I know a lot of people don't like to bet offshore, but you're not going to get shut out. You're not going to get your bet cut down. You're not going to get, in midstream, you're down to $100 bets. There's nobody you'll never find anybody that did not pay. I mean, you could Google my name. I made $1 million fucking bet with them and I got paid. And I mean, $1 million fucking bet. That's not like 10,000. It's $1 million fucking dollars.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're solid. The one thing when they first started, this is 30 years ago, I'm with them. You know, like I had a marketing background, so I went in and I helped with as far as training the customer service, the wagering department. So I know the buildings, I know everybody there. That it's all different now, but I'm saying when it started, and my philosophy has always been this: if you got a customer that's loyal, I'll argue and say, Ethan, you're playing a bookmaker, and you deposit 1,000, you lose 500, you lose, whatever the case is. You pick up the phone. And you have zero money in your account, and you go to call Caesars or MGM or Rivers or all these illegal places and say, hey, by the way, I just lost like $5 or $6 grand. Is there anything you can do for me? Yeah, fund. I've got the connections there where if you pick up the phone and say to me, and I'm not saying I shouldn't even be saying this because there'll be people that will take this wrong and they'll be very, very greedy. But like if you say, look, me and my buddy are going to the Suns game tonight, the playoff game. It sucks going to a game without having a bet on it. Or if Ray says he's going to the Virginia Tech game and he's kind of had a bad week. All right, listen, nobody should go to a game without having a bet on it. It's like going to a whorehouse and jerking off. It doesn't make sense, right? So I say, listen, you've been loyal. You've been loyal to Bookmaker. I'll shoot an internal email, put a $300 free play for you in there, and go bet the game and enjoy it. I can do them things. I've given out over the years probably in excess of $10 million in free plays to people for being loyal. No, that's obviously that's a big number because you're taking 30 years in a lot of situations. But yeah, you'll get 100% bonus. You sign up, like you fund 500, they'll give you 1,000. And the thing is, when you're dealing with a lot of these places that don't answer the phone, if you ever have an issue, whether it be trying to get money or have a
best customer service ever. Customer service.
Well, no, you just contact me. I mean, instead of having to go through any of the nonsense, because I think everything now is been live chat, But they're all doing that now, offshore, because it just seems a lot easier. But I mean, if you have an issue, I make a fucking phone call, it's resolved. Or you remember the $1 million bet with Mickey I made? Yeah, he remembers. Yeah, that was fucking. I think that was 13 years ago, 14 years ago. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's a good out to have. Like I said, they'll take credit cards or use Bitcoin. That's fine. Their payouts are quick, and like I said, you ever have an interest, have have an issue, you just shoot me an email and I'll take care of it, or get in touch with Ray or Ethan. And I make a fucking phone call. It's done. But yeah, it's a good place to play. And also, I know that these guys play there. In the games that you guys gave out they're pretty much going to use them lines. And it always sucks, like when people ask me, it's like, hey, why don't you? A lot of people want your picks. Why don't you fucking sell picks? Nah, I don't have time for it. It's too much. But here's the thing. I said go over 4 in the Cub game today. So, okay, that's a good bet. And somebody will call me that if the game ends, 3-2 after 4, we win the bet. Yeah, I had it at 5 at so and so, or my local had it at this. No, you didn't. You're a liar. You didn't have it at 5. Tell me you had it at 4 minus 150. I believe you. Tell me you had it at 4.5 plus 110. I'll still think you're lying, but I might have to believe you. But don't tell me you had it at 5, because you didn't. So what happens is, I'll get them opening lines. I get them overnight lines, and I strike really quick. When people ask this, this is a question that people they take 2-party out of state checks.
Joe.
Big check. If you got a credit card, if not, get one of them fucking credit cards that you could put up as a deposit, or buy one of them prepaids.
One thing I will say, Facts, to piggyback on that is, I know you remember it was a few years back, but I was actually at a Pirate game that was rained out, and that year I had over on the Pirates season win total, and they tried to get the game in. They didn't get the game in because it didn't matter. The playoff implications, there was no playoff implications, so the league said screw it. Now again, this was before the league was in bed with gaming. I think moving forward, we're going to see 162 games played if they got to play it on the moon. But that year, the Pirates played 161 games. I had a fat over ticket. The Pirates went 7 games over their win total with one less game. And right, I got a refund, no bet, right? So the first person I contacted, I'm like, Facts. And he's like, Ray, what do you not look at the rules of what you bet into? He's like, you that's the rule. He's like, I can't. And that's the reality of it. That's like these people today wanting this. Oh, I bet the quarterback over touchdown passes and he got injured in the second half. Can I get
wants a refund?
Rules.
Well, before I go,
but you know what you did do. You know what you did do for me there. You did well, how much did you have on it? And I told you, and you said you got that free play in your account. Boom.
Right. Yeah, I can do that. I could always do stuff like that. I will. I was the dumb one. You helped me out, right? I'd run across a lot of stories, and we could probably do the show for 10 hours, but that we don't want to do that. But we could probably save it for another time. But you want to talk about degenerates. I remember this one. I had a guy. He was a millionaire out in California. He was some kind of producer, but he was the degenerates of all fucking degenerates. And he paid me a lot of money for games, and I did well for him. But he just constantly fucking calling me and busting my balls about what do you think? Do we got a shot? It's tied. I know we're getting 6. Ain't gonna score. I mean, every scenario. So, so he's on the West Coast, right? It's I think it's probably a little after 1 o'clock. It's just after 1 o'clock. He's 1:05 or 1:06 Eastern time. Game's just kicked off. Phone rings. He calls me up. He says, Joe, it's Chet. Hey, Chet, what's up? How come you're not watching football? I'm in church. I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast. I got mass at 10 o'clock. Okay, what do you want me to do? You want to pray with me? What do you want? What do you want? Fucking cocksucker, leave me alone. So we got a lot of money on the Giants against the Eagles, and I really stepped out on this one. He's like, "How we doing?" I said, "Ray, it's 107. Chet, it's 107. The game just fucking started. Who received? Eagles." And he says, "Where they got the ball at?" I said, "They got the ball at the 48. Who's 48? I said, does it make a fucking difference who's 48? First quarter. This is a minute off the clock. I said, who's 48? You're fucking nuts. Who's 48? You can't make it up. You can't make that up.
Wants a play-by-play.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted to play that from church. You wanted to play that from church.
Jeez.
Well, I think we got to wrap this up before I get. I mean, I can pay fines. I mean, I know you can pay a lot more fines than I can, Facts, but I'm gonna end up getting hammered on
What do
this
you
one
got to
by
take out the
boss.
garbage?
So, I want to wrap up. I want to say, obviously, Chalk with Taylor at Best Pie Bets, at Ray Gray Fox, but most importantly, folks, the man at the bottom of the screen at the Factsman 1. We want to thank him for this isolated, uncensored appearance. It's we're grateful for it.
Is that my Twitter at Factsman1 or at
the Factsman 1?
The Factsman1. I don't even know.
Factsman 1.
I have to write it down. Look at right now. Twitter at the Factsman. I don't know. I have
There
to
you
write it down. I have no idea.
Nobody has more notebooks and pads than you do. You're a pad king.
Yeah.
Look, watch this.
Wait a minute.
Watch this.
It's 1. That's 2.
That's 2. Okay.
Now, just in case.
Just in case.
In case you run out, right? In case
the legal pads you gotta have.
I gotta get them. Oh, it is.
Taylor in the
shred
red hot.
seats.
How about Taylor? Guess what you didn't hear? Guess what you didn't hear from her today, Fox? You didn't hear Taylor say, "Oh, I had the Rangers first 5. I had the Rangers team total over, and I had the Rangers full game." What a bad beat on the. No, it wasn't a bad beat. She went 2-1 on one game. That's called baseball betting for all you out there with pants.
Taylor, keep doing what you're doing.
Sure.
You're good. And if you happen to have any girlfriends that might be like a rich nymphomaniac cult connection that owns a Ferrari dealership, tell her I'm free.
On that note, we're gonna wrap it up on that note.
All right, what do you call it? Like,
you want a parting shot? I want you to close it because you know what I want you to say at the end. Once you say it, I'm killing it.
For everybody at CommonwealthSportsBetting.com. For Ethan, who's got a 2-inch dick. For Ray,
my bio.
For all the people that tuned in, for the people that will watch later, have a great day. And as always, go fuck yourself. I'm not lying.
There we go.
Are we done?
That one.